All right, all right. Thanks for tuning in today. We call this Get Lifted TV, but this is the swimforrecovery.com moment and updates and about recovery. And I was interviewing a guy recently on my podcast, and he goes, Rob, there's so many people talk about creating awareness around things, right? So we create attention to. So he's about getting rid of the word awareness sometimes. I want to draw attention to the idea of recovering from addiction. So that's what we're talking about today. That face that we're streaming through right now, and you cannot actually share the private group content. But if you go to my personal Facebook page, you can share that content, or um, it's on YouTube and LinkedIn, all that good stuff. So here we are on day 15 of the month. 15 miles swum so far, 990 laps, the length of 264 football fields. So I am feeling good, getting stronger. I'm always, if you're watching and you're a prayer person, pray for a shoulder and like the hip area on my right side. They're getting a little tender from the working out, but that's all good. That's all good. Hot tub and hydro massage, those things are helping out pretty good. So anyway, love to have you engage and just share this post anywhere you want on your social media, whether you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever the heck you are. Would love for you to just kind of pump this domain name out, because people aren't all people that are not on social media, but there are people that I'm sure would love to hear some of these recovery stories. So they're all posted on the swimforrecovery.com page, and you can go watch all. They're just listed in order at the bottom of the page, so you can go there, check it out, and would love for you to donate to the cause as well, to the Swim for Recovery campaign. And all those funds are used for from the rep programs and to help people that need in the future that need sober living scholarships or counseling and therapy needs. So we have Norma on today. Excited for her to share her story. And it's fun when I look at my calendar. I needed some more stories for this month, and I thought I had enough, but I didn't. So I put a post out and had, I don't know, 20 something people say, "Hey, I'll share my story. I'll share my story." So it looks like we're gonna have more than 30 for this month, and I'll see how we're gonna incorporate those in. And lastly, if you live in the Denver area, or you want to stream online, if you live in the Denver area, just come to the event. Don't stream it. But there's a big party going on the 29th. We're celebrating the publication of my new book, the Addiction Intervention book, which you can go grab online at Amazon. On Amazon, you can go grab the Addiction Intervention book. And so that night, we're going to celebrate the current success of the book. And then also, we have 5 other inspirational speakers. They're going to be sharing their stories and kind of what they do professionally, and just to give you all more tools for just living life, living a better life. That's what we're all about: restoring hope, identity, and purpose. And a lot of this is to people with addictions and families, but it's really anybody. I mean, you may not have an addiction, but I'm sure that you could use a little shot of encouragement for hope, identity, and purpose. So we're going to be doing a little hip surgery, HIP, hope, identity, and purpose, that evening. So September 29th is the big party. Please tell people about it. Make sure you register on the Eventbrite there. There's also a Facebook group that I posted as well. So hey, let's step into Norma's story, and we will dive in and go from there. So enjoy Norma's story. I know we got somebody. So the groups that we're streaming through right now are the I Still Believe movement, Trifecta of Recovery, Identity and Freedom, the Addiction Intervention group, and we're also on LinkedIn and YouTube, my personal page. So it's out there, and people are watching here and there and in between. So we're gonna get the share screen up here and just say, "Hey, man, enjoy Norma's story." This one's a little bit longer than the other ones, but dive in and enjoy, and we will catch you on the flip side. All right. Well, here we are at another interview for the swimforrecovery.com month in September. And really excited that Norma answered the call to say, "Hey, I'll put my hand up and share my story, and sharing it boldly too, which is really cool. So, Norma McDonald, where are you sitting right now in the world, the globe, the earth? What city are you in
Canada.
right now, or
I
province?
province, that's right, Canada. I'm from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, right across from Detroit, Michigan.
All
So
right,
if that
cool. Do you know where Walloon Lake is in Michigan?
mm,
Petoskey, Charlevoix, any of those
oh yeah,
places?
Charlotte. Yes.
Yeah, so we go
Michigan
up to
is a beautiful
it is.
state.
Yeah, we go to Michigan almost every year for
Oh,
vacation,
very
and it's cool. So, but we're not here to talk about Michigan. We're here to talk
mm.
about you and your story. So, what is your sobriety date, Norma?
March 19th, 1986.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just a few years ago, right? And
Yeah.
what was or what were your drugs of choice?
Alcohol, definitely alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. Alcohol was treat us well for a while. We thought, right?
It was a
And
kind of a ladies thing, right? It was acceptable, and until you have one too many, you're not so much a lady anymore. So,
well, I'm sure we'll get into some of those stories. We'll see how vulnerable you're going to be today. But so we got like 10 minutes to kind of hear your story and kind of, thinking about like what it was like, what happened, what's it like now to give people kind of like the progression of it. So how did the attraction to alcohol begin for you?
well, my dad was an alcoholic, and he was an abusive, violent alcoholic to my mom, and so I didn't really see much good in alcohol. A lot of bad memories, and so I really never touched alcohol till I was 26 years old. I was married my high school sweetheart. I was happily married, and I didn't drink, and I didn't drug, and I didn't swear, and I didn't smoke. I was just this good little housewife. And so we got married. We bought a house. We're supposed to have children. I can't have children. So I got into a depression, feeling sorry for myself. And some friends just were like, come on out, have a drink, let's go out. And I was like 26 years old. And it's like, they used to mess my hair. They're like, you're too straight. Come on up, right? Because I never drank. And it's like, okay, all right. So, and my husband had shift work, and he'd be gone on the weekends. So it's like, okay, I'll go out Friday night, Saturday night. And I didn't, the girls, come on, drink, drink, drink. No, no, no. Okay, try cherry whiskey and Coke. That's easy. It doesn't smell like my dad's memories, right? So I tried tried cherry whiskey and Coke, and it's like, well, that was pretty good. I like
Mm,
that.
yeah. Give me
and,
another.
and it was like instantaneous heroin. I liked it. I wanted another and another, and I'm dancing with this guy, and I'm sitting on this guy's lap, and I go home, and my husband would say, "You smell like a brewery," and I'm like, "Well, so." And I realized, we were, I think, married about 4 years by then, but we were already together 4 years through high school. And I realized I kind of opened the door to evil, right? The girls made it, or the devil kind of made it look like fun. Look at, you're getting attention. The guys like you. And I didn't ever have that. I had one boyfriend. I married him, and so now I'm getting attention. And I started going to gym. I started dyeing my hair. Started swearing, and it's and all the bad words too.
Just kind of started to come out like a big fire hose, right? Like
I
bottled
was
up
like,
for years.
I know, I was gone. And so my poor husband, who married this nice, normal little girl, I just turned, and there's no coming back. I never thought it was alcohol would be my problem. I thought I was popular. It's what everybody else is doing. My husband's boring. He's controlling. All these girls are fun. These guys are fun. So I wanted to have fun because I didn't have kids, and I'm kids. I don't want to be alone in this house. So all this sense of entitlement came in, and then I just ran with it. Of course, no husband wants his wife out in bars and doing what you do in bars, and that ended in divorce. That was my first divorce, and I think I was like 29 when I got divorced, and I was 21 when I got married, and so now I'm divorced. And so when you're married, you can kind of keep alcohol under control a little bit, but like now I'm single. And, now I'm really wild. So I didn't know what it was. I just was like, wanted to be free, wanted to be free. I wanted to, go to Cancun and Jamaica and drink the rum punch and go naked on the nude beach. I had like no inhibition. This girl was a crazy girl. So, and of course, psych wards because I was like crying all the time. I would end up in bad relationships, the wrong guy, sometimes married men, and I would be thinking they're going to leave their wives, and then they would never leave their wife, and then it's like I'm crazy crying in a psych ward,
Mm.
and it's like suicidal. Sometimes I used to think drive my car into this hydro pole. My mother's got more kids. She's not going to miss me anyway. I'm kind of a pain in the butt. I'm kind of useless. I don't mean nothing to nobody. And, many days, why did I wake up today? Why did I wake up today? Um, and tranquilizers. And see, I was afraid of drugs back in the 80s. I knew I had trouble with alcohol. So that's why I really didn't mess with too many drugs, except a few tranquilizers and to sleep and stuff, which I didn't really call drugs. But I had a beautiful apartment on the water here on the Detroit River, and across from a park, and there'd be people out there playing football, laughing, having fun. I'd close my blinds. I got my pajamas on, my house coat. I take my tranquilizers. Like nobody can be that happy. Come on. And then I call in sick Monday. I call in sick Tuesday. Now I got a small paycheck. Now I can't pay my bills. It's like, and then my mother's like, you never call me, what's going on? And I'm like, well, what am I going to call you for? What am I going to tell my mother? I got no money for my bills. I've been with all these guys this week. I mean, you can't tell your mother all this stuff. So
Yeah.
you just avoid her.
Yeah.
So
What a journey too that you're on. And I hear that, and I hear the Christian piece in the beginning, and then here you are now. What was going on with you and kind of the way you were living and maybe the way you didn't want to live internally with I know all the negative messages, but was God downloading you some positive stuff?
Um, you know, I came from a Catholic upbringing, and I think this is where I got off track because we just used to go to church on Sunday, so we never really, I seen my mom abused and like with no money and single mom, and she never really, there was not much forgiveness for my dad, or I never really seen like God kind of working in our life,
Gotcha.
and I had a brother who had brain cancer, and we used to say the rosary for my brother who had brain cancer. And guess what? He died. It's like, well, where's God? This is a lot of praying the rosary. And I think that's when I didn't see God working. I never invited God into my life. I was just like Catholic, sort of in name only, right? And so I never really looked at God, the devil. I just was a floater. I don't know, just floating through life or something. But even in my practicing days, sometimes the older women would try to talk about God. And it's like, I don't want to talk about God, you know? And I never, but my mother prayed for me. My mother used to pray to St. Jude for me. And we prayed to St. Jude for my brother who had brain cancer, but
Mm,
he died. So here's my mother praying to St. Jude, which was the patron saint of the hopeless, to hope that her daughter something would, happen, get better. And actually, I worked with the lady. We have a wonderful rehab program here in Windsor, Ontario. And in 1985, the woman I worked with, she started the women coming into it. And so she would like every day, Norma, go to rehab. Norma, go to rehab. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm going shopping. I'm calling in sick. Norma, go to rehab. And then 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go show up there. And I just went, knocked on the door, and it was run by a Catholic priest. And he kind of opened the door, and it felt like the prodigal father.
wow.
He never said, Norma, you're a piece of crap, you're a loser, you're a bum, you deserve. And that's what what I would tell myself, right? So he never said anything. He said, come in, have a coffee, let's talk. And there's already about 30 women there on program. And so what he did is like, you go talk to the women, go talk to the women. And there was like a men's side and a woman's side. And it's like, talk to the women. I've already talked to a psychiatrist. I don't know. I'm not getting any better. So, and that's how a fellowship. I talked to women, and that was called a fellowship. It's a fellowship. And then this Catholic priest, he would go to these meetings every day. They didn't say, Norma, did you want to go shopping today? Oh, Norma, do you need a nap today? It's like, Norma, you get up, you go to the meeting, you go to this meeting, you go to that meeting, you go to this meeting. And so I did. And then I thought, as he's learning about alcoholism, is like, how does he know so much about me? How does he know I don't go to work? How does he know I don't talk to my mother? How does he know I go with all those guys? How does he know I don't pay my bills? How does this priest who's not married, how does he know about love? How does he know about sex? How does he,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
but he knows about respect and God's love. And I guess in program, I just like quit drinking the day. Well, I actually quit March 15th, but March 19th, I went in program, and I just kept thinking, just don't drink, just don't drink, just don't drink, because I'm on program. And I had a 90-day program, and then bonding with the women and hearing their stories. And for the first time, I felt forgiveness. I felt God working. I felt the love of God in the program. I felt the love of God from the priest who started the program. And I felt the love from the women saying, I've done this too. Because we had to share all our inventories. We had to write things out. We had to share. And that's where I experienced forgiveness. And also the priest, the founder, he used to make us talk about all our mistakes, right? We'd have to get up on the mic sometimes and share our story, because it helps other people, right?
It does.
So it wasn't, and so that I've learned that way back when, from the beginning, your story is to help other people. Your story is to help other women. And so for 36 years, I still go back. I was just there yesterday. I still go back and help the new women say, listen, I'm sober. You can get sober. And then gradually, I just seen God work. When I graduated, you have to get up on the mic 90 days and, say your name and all that. You graduate. I swear my life was in living color. I love the birds singing. I want to hug trees. I drove the speed limit. I stopped at red lights. I didn't litter. I didn't swear. My clothes changed. Like I don't want to swear no more. So like I was like a new creation in rehab.
Mm.
So
Eh,
I didn't realize it was like born again. And here's one thing I learned too. Sometimes alcoholics get in our heads a certain age you're going to die. And my brother was 35 when he died, and my mom used to say it was like my brother because he could take pain and all this stuff. So my brother died at 35, and I was 35 when I went into the rehab. So the old Norma did die, and the new Norma came out.
wow.
So
That's like a goosebump moment right there. I mean, that's what a cool
I
realization. When did you make that realization?
actually just this year, actually.
Did you really? Oh, cool.
Just this year, because I did a testimony at my church, and I got born again in 2014. I started going to a Christian church, and okay, to be obedient, you got to get water baptized. As Catholics, we were baptized as babies, so you got to get water baptized. Like, okay, I'm going to get water baptized. I'm going to tithe. I'm going to be obedient. I've learned, I want to walk the Christian, because Christian's a little bit different than being Catholic. And so I'm an usher at my church. I have a ladies mentors group that comes to my house. And one night at church, they were asking for testimonies. And I thought, I'm ready to do my testimonies. And I got up there and I said, I committed adultery. And then I'm thinking, ooh, I said that out loud in church. I committed adultery. I never said adultery. Oh my God. Because when you're practicing, that stuff doesn't bother you. It's just part of the game.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're sober and now you got to repent, because repentance is a big part of it too, right? And amends, and stop doing what you're doing. And so that's it. So I think being a Christian has really helped. I love the Lord. I just try to do the best I can every day. And what's my purpose? My purpose is to still, I'll talk to anybody. I have no secrets. I am an open book, and if I can help, I'll help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And now you're in this season of just fruitfulness, right? And just, I mean, sharing your story and being able to say adultery and you didn't get struck down, right? I mean, that's like growth in your faith. And it's, it's, and that's why I want to share so many different stories, because yours is different than other people's stories, and they're going to resonate with you a little bit as well. And sharing your story boldly, I mean, when I released my new book, the addiction intervention book, I was, really bold in my faith and just talking about that, because that is, for me, what has sustained me and gotten me to where I am, taking me where I am today. So I just appreciate you sharing that. And so what does your life look like today in this the day that we're doing this kind of recording? What are some fruitfulnesses that happen as we
I
kind of wrap up here?
um Well, I guess I have a home-based business, which I'm proud of. I work, and it's a Christian company, so I'm always around. Uh, I'm very picky who I hang around with now. I used to wonder. I used to think I was like a magnet to the wrong people. Now I'm a magnet to the right people. So I mean, I have my church people, and I have my business people. I have a little roommate. We met at rehab. She has a horrible story. Her husband told her to go live under a bridge. And I said, I got 2 bedrooms. You're never going to live under a bridge. And her story's a lot of damage from a husband there she
Mm.
had. But my life is good. I have friends now. I had another marriage. I'm married a guy from rehab. And we were quite happily married, and wonderful plans for a bed and breakfast as a husband wife team. But he was sober 10 years and he went back drinking, and so I had to leave him. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. So to watch, because I never seen anybody relapse, and I'm looking at my very handsome, wonderful husband relapse and look like an alcoholic. It was very hard, but it had to happen. He's still drinking to this day. So, but he is remarried. So now I have 2 divorces under my belt. But I mean, I guess you stay fulfilled and you stay young at heart, just doing the Lord's work, kind of, right? Just
Yeah.
always, either you're talking to a neighbor, whatever you can do, smiling, joy, acting stupid sometimes, disco dancing. I don't know. It's like, and
Yeah, well, you gotta stay young at heart. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us at the swimforrecovery.com campaign. And you're a true testimony that people can change and live a different life. So
absolutely,
congratulations
hmm
to you, and I look forward to staying in touch for sure.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Rob.
Yep, thank you, Norma. All righty, Norma, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Swimforrecovery.com. You can go rewatch that video there, along with the other 14 interviews for this month. And would love your support. So far, 15 miles, 990 laps, 264 football field lengths. We've been sharing some statistics, some news articles, stories, and just want to keep this going. So mark your calendars for September 29th, big party at Eventbrite. The links on some of my Facebook stuff. You can go check it out. And please just encourage people to check it out. And we'll see you tomorrow for sure. God